And we're live.
Thank you, Cody. The meeting is now called to order. Teresa, you please call the roll.
Trustee Wykoff. Trustee Virgo. Here. Trustee Cook. Trustee Gray. Here. Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Maggio. Trustee Lemunion. Here. Pandolfi. Trustee Pandolfi.
Here.
Trustee Stepp.
Here.
Trustee Phoebus.
Here.
Trustee Wilson. Here. Trustee Wykoff. We have.
Okay, thank you. For those who are interested, we can see our pledge right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Michael, who typically offers an invocation, is not able to make it. For reflection, I found this since the last meeting. Daniel Handler is an author who was very successful about 20, 25, 30 years ago. And this quote, "Never trust anyone who has not brought a book with them." And I thought that seems so appropriate, especially in light of everything that's being done by Brian and everybody with the information on the influence of the algorithms and the internet and everything, and the impact that has in light of traditional methods of sharing knowledge through a text. So on to our agenda. May we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve.
Second?
I'll second this.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, Teresa, please call the roll.
Trustee Virgo. Here. Trustee Gray.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Pandolfi.
Yes.
Trustee Lemunion. Yes. Trustee Stepp.
Yes.
Trustee Weezy. Aye. Trustee Phoebus.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson. Yes. A motion carries.
Okay, so the next matter is a motion to approve the consent agenda. We did the agenda. Okay, any discussion? Teresa, please.
Trustee Lemunion. Yes. Trustee Virgo. Sorry. Trustee Gray.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Pandolfi.
Yes.
Trustee Stepp.
Yes.
Trustee Phoebus.
Yes,
Trustee Wilson. Yes. And motion carries.
thank you. And back to the agenda, I just understand there will be no visitors' comments.
Well, they are loaded in Word docs.
Pardon me?
I said, there are several loaded in Word docs for you if you anything want to see that.
Okay, thank you. Now, committee reports from the building committee.
Thank you. We're still not quite yet. Our next topic is headquarters, and that's not ready to come out, finalize and come out of committee. So we're not.
Okay. Finance and audit is, the chair is not here. Any information from that committee? Didn't they? Okay. Fundraising development.
Just a brief update. Diana is unable to be with us this evening. She shared with me some information to pass on to you. She wanted to make sure we're grateful for those who were able to attend the legacy luncheon last Friday. I wanted to note that the benefits that have received the John Ferguson Award for Outstanding Service. Toby Crone received the Maggie Jackson Community Spirit Award. And Steve and Joan Israelite received the Victor Gregg Library Champion Awards. We had a wonderful event. So you see approximately about 205 people attended. And she stated they have not quite yet been able to gather results of the contributions that have been received and what the financial impact is then. But we'll be getting that information soon. Also wanted to share that the foundation is making plans to have a retreat in the coming months to discuss further mission and programming for that. We have been targeting November, so we're hopeful that we'll make that.
Thank you. Any questions? Personnel?
Personal did not meet.
Thank you. And technology?
Technology did not meet.
Thank you. Financial reports, Jeremy?
Yes, thank you. Go ahead and flip to the next slide. We'll start with our tax report. Taxes collected for July through September is just under $995,000 compared to last year of 1.5 million. That's not really a tax per se. That's actually a replacement tax payment that we received in both Jackson, Platte County last year that we have not yet received this year. So it's more of an issue than any sort of a concern. Flip to the next slide is our cash flow. You'll see the line for this fiscal year is purple and it's getting dangerously close to zero. We ended the month of September with just over $1.4 million in cash. We did actually borrow $2 million off the line of credit the first part of October. So we will continue to monitor our cash. Moving on to the next slide, the general fund has collected 1.3 million. It's about 66% of our projected budget. And we have expenditures of around 20.4 million, which is higher than our projected budget, primarily due to the $4 million increase that the board requested last year, or last meeting, excuse me, to be transferred from the general fund to the capital fund. So the operating deficit is just over $19 million. This is the same information just for the capital fund, not much to report other than the aforesaid mentioned transfer. So we have no significant expenditures in the capital fund right now. And the last slide is our health insurance fund. We've collected just over 1.2 million, about 26% of our budgeted revenues year to date. Our expenditures are just over 923,000 or about 17%. So we have an operating surplus so far of just under 311,000. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all may have. I have a question.
On the statement of taxes received, do we have any, I noticed that Jackson County in particular, I guess primarily was certainly down from the previous year to date. Is there
Give an idea of
why the receipts from Jackson County were so much less this current year to date than it was last year?
it's due to the replacement tax.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any indication that we won't be receiving it. I think it's more of a timing issue.
Okay.
Looking in years prior to last year, it came later in the year. So for some reason, last year it came earlier. So when we compare year to date to last year, it looks way off. But if you compare year to date to 2 years ago, it's much more in line.
I just didn't know if that was an ongoing issue and have an impact.
I don't believe it's been budgeted.
Okay, so yeah, if it's, I get the replacement. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Please.
May I ask the cost of bringing in Ann Call Smith for the Reflection Point workshop?
The one that was supposed to occur today,
Yes.
nothing. She was coming out of her own expense, but we canceled that workshop.
Completely.
Yes. But I intend to do it after the first of the year, so hopefully we can get more people interested in participating and then, we would try it again after the first of the year.
That's
Any questions? Yeah. Unfinished business?
Nope.
Here's no unfinished business, new business? No? Okay, library director's reports.
All right, well, I think first we have a special guest, right? We want to introduce everyone to our new safety director, Jeff Johnson. Jeff is gonna stand up and talk for the next half hour about. No, but look. Teresa and her committee did an exhaustive search of applicants, and we got a lot of applicants from the 3 counties. And settled on Jeff Johnson. In this short period of time, he's made a tremendous impact on our organization. So we're happy to have him here. And Jeff, if you would just step to the podium and give us your spiel.
Well, it's very short, but well, thank you. I'm really enjoying my time here. It's a very different. I spent over 37 years in the fire service and retired from Kansas City, Missouri Fire Department as a deputy fire chief there, and then spent 5 years out in Newport News, Virginia as the fire chief and the director of emergency management. And I've had opportunities to go through a lot of different trainings throughout all that time period, I'd say, and most recently graduated the Naval Postgraduate School on Homeland Defense Security. And so we talk about this on a regular basis. It's interesting to me with the number of branches, how spread out we are, the diversity of the community. It reminds me a lot of being in the fire department. It really does. I mean, each branch runs kind of in their own way, you know, and addressing the needs of those local communities and things. And so I've had an opportunity to meet with senior leadership and then also go out and meet with a lot of the branch managers, assistant branch managers, and just the day-to-day, full-time, part-time employees, and kind of told them, you know, listen to what they're thinking and what they'd like. And how I see my position is they're the experts out there in the branches working. I just want them to tell me what they want and how they want it done, and we'll find a way to get it done. That's really what it is. So it's more of a bottom-up approach. I probably bring a different mindset than, you know, normally a lot of organizations have someone that's more police focused when they come in as security, but we're trying to, you know, rebrand as more of a safety, which security falls under. And so I think it's looking more globally at everything for the organization versus just a security type of mindset. So, but if I can ever be of any assistance to anyone, don't ever hesitate to reach out and holler. And again, I think we've got a great senior leadership team, and everyone's been very open arm and understand that I come from the fire service, so they speak a little slower to me and a little bit, but I'm really enjoying it and glad to be here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig.
In case if anyone's wondering, Jeff has rescued a cat from a tree.
It's not easy.
He's a hero.
It was probably the worst job I ever had. I will tell you, they don't like coming down.
Starts to prove.
Yes.
All right, so just a little update on what we've been doing here. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been giving presentations to the counties. I think this Thursday we'll be speaking with Jackson County officials about the state of the library, but we had great conversations with officials in Clay County. It was great to be out there and to be heard and seen. Everybody seems quite happy with the direction the library is going. Before you have this, our MCPL monthly, and on the cover is Ruta Cepedes. She's a YA author and adult. And she was part of our Lit Up program. And the thing that amazes me about Lit Up is there's a VIP event the evening before where we had dinner and conversation and some activities. And then the main event happens Saturday morning at, I think, 9 or 10 a.m., right? I'm just amazed that you can get 300 teenagers out of bed to come and hear from authors, right? So pictured there is Ruta with a young patron, but just a great turnout, and it was a wonderful event. Katie McDowell and her team did a great job putting it together. So big shout out there. Let me see. Also in your report is something that I noticed the past couple of times I've been here. This is very interesting display of cameras at Green Hills. And I've said this before, but I'm always amazed at the people from the community that donate their items or loan us their items to be put on display. And this is one example just the wonderful collections that come from our community. Also noted is our final event that was part of our Facing the Future series. We had two events, I think, back to back. Were they 1 week apart? Was it? So we had Audrey Tang, the Minister of Digital Affairs for Taiwan, and she spoke to staff and a pretty robust online audience. And that was a great conversation. We learned a lot about her experience. And I think we learned about some tools that we could use here at the library. And then that event was followed with a conversation with Kyle Chayka, which unfortunately I was unable to attend, but we had a great turnout there and it was an onstage conversation. Kyle wrote a book called Filter World. This has to do with the flattening of culture, which is caused, in his opinion, by many of the algorithms that affect our daily lives. So that was great, and we're looking forward to our next season and the work of the Digital Innovation Department. That pretty much is all I have to report. So you can read through this at your leisure. I think we have a very important thing to talk about here, and that is our own Teresa Johnson, who is acknowledged as a woman of distinction by the Independence Chamber of Commerce.
Independence Examiner.
Independence Examiner, excuse me. I wrote a quote here that I won't read. It just basically, all of our trustees are aware of the role that Teresa plays for this organization. But for me personally, were it not for her and her efforts, my transition here would have been much more difficult. So thank you. She's very organized and a stickler for the rules.
Yes.
And she has a tremendous knowledge of our organization and its history. And without her, I think we would be in very horrible shape. So thank you, Teresa, for all that you've done for the organization.
So deserved, absolutely.
Yeah. And that concludes my report. I think, yeah, that does conclude my report. We'll go to the announcements. I think that's next. So here are our list of announcements. We have the Milk and Cookies event. That's a library lovers event at Green Hills on October 19th. The 23rd through the 24th, Richie, Susan, and I will be in Philadelphia for the Urban Libraries Council annual leadership forum. We're looking forward to that. We have Missouri Loggers Annual Conference that's happening October 24th and 25th. And then there's a nice event at Kansas City. Is that Marcy, do you remember the details about that event? Is that the aquarium?
Yes.
Yeah. And who's our special guest there? It escapes me right now.
Oh, I just saw it earlier today. It's an author.
It's Shelby Van Pelt.
Right.
Remarkably bright creatures.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a wonderful event. Thank you. It's one of our library employees here, Carla. But that's gonna be on the 9th, and I encourage you all to attend. I'm very much looking forward to that one. And then we have various committee meetings and Thanksgiving, which I'm sure we'll all enjoy. And we'll be closed on November 28th. And that concludes my announcements.
Any trustee comments? Any?
I would like to really commend the committee that worked on the legacy luncheon. It was very, very nice. I really enjoyed just everything about it. So just kudos.
It was, the music was
The music was superb.
great.
Well, I like folk music.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So don't worry, I made when I presented at Clay County, I walked out. It's strange, I show up and the downtown was filled with women wearing witches hats. It was some event.
Yes.
Witches Brew, was that what it was called?
Yeah.
In Liberty, right.
We have that in the square.
Yeah, and there was this lovely trio of ukulele players, and I got their name and number. They were playing folk music. They had something. Yes. Interesting night.
Bob, next time we'll have to call Pete Seeger.
Oh.
Any other comments?
I see that the next board meeting is on my birthday. I will come, I
Okay.
will come to the meeting, but please don't bring cake. I'm on a diet.
We're not.
Just kidding. Yeah. I'll bring the cake.
Okay, yeah. One comment I have is that, a little bit of background, I noticed quite some years ago that elements of our policies were empty on some matters had, when, in some instances, when they would address a matter, it was confusing or was deficient in any kind of direction. And in light of that, I've asked Bob and Michael Lazio to be on a committee, which in a special committee that can be structured to address the policies in terms of just a review to see what matters deserve attention, and if so, come up with some resolution presented to the board. Other members of the executive committees, executive management have also noticed that there are areas where the direction that should have been there was not. And I think this is an effort that's going to be well worth a lot of discussion by the board and our executives. And right now, it's just formed and nothing has taken place or.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the way we envision the process going is that it'll be collaborative, but like the first set of eyes on any sort of policy revisions would happen at the ad hoc level, and then we're required by policy then to bring it to each committee, which we will do. So it's kind of a two-step process. If there's any alarm bells go off, the ad hoc committee would let us know, and we would make revisions before presenting it to the associated committees. Do you have anything you want to?
And also to the policies, the current policies do provide a very precise method by which different sections of policies can be amended, or I would say corrected. So it will require, I won't say a huge degree of effort, but it will require effort for all of us on the board.
Yep. All right.
Any other comments? None at all? Okay, amazingly at this hour. To adjourn.
I'll make an adjourn, a
Please.
motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second. Yeah.
18 seconds.
You seconded, but I don't think you first did. I made the motion.
No discussion.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I thought you just said you seconded.
Okay, I know no discussion is required, so all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
All right.